Hi everybody, we are back. AB and I are here with another recipe for you. Welcome to Sandy's house where ingredients and taste meet. Today we will be making a buttermilk biscuit with strawberry apple jam. In addition to that, I'm going to make a cream cheese, brown sugar butter spread that will go. Yes, go on the biscuits, and then you top that with some jam.
That ain't gonna be good.
It's gonna be delicious. Watch me make a believer out of you.
We'll see.
At the end, you're gonna be like, this is good. All right. Yeah, we'll see. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna get started with the biscuits. I'll go through that process with you. First, we're gonna go over here and get AB started on the jam because that's gonna take a minute. You ready?
Ready as I can be ready.
Okay, so we've got this on a low heat. You're gonna add all of your sugar. Dig down in there and get all of that sugar out of there. So we've got a cup and a half of sugar. We have a cup and a half of, these are fresh strawberries that I cut up the other day and put them in the freezer. But you can use frozen strawberries if you want to. All of those. Put all of those in there. And you're gonna add, we've got about 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Now, the sugar is gonna dissolve and it'll make its own liquid. And so that's what AB wants to achieve. She wants that sugar to dissolve while she's stirring frequently because we don't want it to burn. Once all of the sugar has dissolved into liquid, then she's gonna take her potato smasher there and start smashing the strawberries to extract the juice from them. Once that softens, then she's gonna add her Granny Smith apples. We have about two cups of Granny Smith apples chopped. She's gonna add that, and as they soften, she's gonna continue mashing both the strawberries and the apples until it comes together like a jam. And once that happens, she's gonna turn off the heat, and as it cools, it's gonna thicken. So that's gonna take a little bit of time. So while she's working on that, we're gonna go over here and get our biscuits going. Okay, so we're going to start with 1 cup of flour. I'm gonna put this through my little sifter here to kind of sift out any of the lumps that are in the flour to kind of smooth it out a bit. So we're gonna, do you have to do this part? No, you do not. It's just something that I prefer to do. So we got all of our flour in there. And then we've got 1 teaspoon of baking powder we're gonna add. We have 1.5 teaspoons of sugar. And we've got, the recipe calls for 3/4 teaspoons of salt. But the very first time I tried this recipe, it was a little too salty for me. So I'm just doing 2/3 teaspoon of salt. And I've got some cold butter, 3/4 tablespoons of cold butter that I left in the freezer until I was ready. You want your butter to be ice cold. There's a scientific reason behind it, but essentially, the colder the butter, you're going to produce a flaky and light and layered product. And that's what we're going for. We want something that is light, we want something that's flaky, and we want to create these layers, which I'm going to show you how to do once we start the laminating process. And that's just folding, alternating butter and dough, butter and dough, butter and dough. We're gonna do that 10 times to create these layers that I wanna achieve. So let me grab my butter. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my cheese box shredder and I'm gonna shred my butter into my batter. You don't have to do this either. You can just chop it up in cubes because we're going to take our hands and kind of smash this into pea size. You want to get this butter mixed throughout your dough. So you want it to be in small little pea-sized shapes. Pea-sized shapes. And that's what we're gonna do with this. But like I said, you can just cut this into small cubes because you're gonna work it into your dough anyway. It's just easier for me to do it this way. I just like doing it this way because I can almost guarantee I get those pea-sized shapes the way that I really want to. And it's kind of looks like that. Can you see that? Okay. So now I'm gonna take my hands and I'm gonna work it in here, and I'm gonna just continue breaking that butter up until it's in like really small pieces, because I want each biscuit to be just full of butter and all kind of yummy goodness. So that's what we want to achieve all throughout there, because the magic happens when the heat hits the butter in the oven. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to add a half a cup of buttermilk, and I'm just going to take a fork and mix it in. You can use buttermilk, you can also use regular milk. We are going to base these with regular milk. Okay, so I'm going to mix this. And when you're making biscuits, you do want to work kind of fast because you don't want this butter to melt. Actually, once we get our biscuits shaped, I'm going to put them in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes because the colder your product is, the better. So now I'm going to put some flour on my Silpat here. And we're going to start what's called the laminating process to achieve those layers that we want. Some people do this process, some people don't. Now your mixture is going to be loose, and you want it to be loose. It's not going to stick together, so it's going to look kind of rough, and you want it to, because by the time we finish doing our folds, it's going to come together. Now also, this is a small batch. This is a batch for about 2 people. So if you want a bigger batch, just double, do a 2-time recipe or a 3-time recipe. Just double it. But I'm just doing a small batch so you can see. Now, I kind of got it together enough where I can use my rolling pin and kind of press it out and press it together like this. It's still looking kind of rough. It's okay. It's supposed to. It's going to come together. So now I'm going to do my very first fold. And your fold is going to look like you're folding a letter. So you're going to take the end and fold it in. And then you're going to take the other side and, as best you can, fold it over. And like I said, it's going to be rough for a little bit till you get to about maybe the third. And so I turned it around, pat it some more. I'm going to use my rolling pin again. I'm going to press down on it first, trying to help it come together. Then I'm going to roll it out some more. Aunt B, how you doing over there?
Well, I think I'm doing okay.
You okay? Okay, you might need to put a little flour on your rolling pin if it starts to so you see how the dough is coming together now? It's not as rough as it was when we first started. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
We're going to do this fold process. You want to do it about 10 times. I've lost count of where we are, but I can kind of gauge when I want to start cutting into our biscuits. And you can shape your biscuits however you want to. If you want to use a cookie cutter and shape them in round circles, I'm just going to cut these into little rectangles. But you can do whatever you want to do with your biscuits. And again, this is a small batch. But if you want to make a larger batch, double the recipe or triple the recipe. You see how that looks, how it's coming together? That's exactly what we are going for. And this is called, the folding process is called laminating. And that's how you get the layers. Like if you eat croissants and you cut into a croissant, and you'll see all of those beautiful layers. That was laminated. That's how they got that. And it's just butter on dough, butter on dough, butter on dough. And that's the process that we're doing right now. It's laminating. And you want to continue pulling. When you flour your mat, whether you're on a Silpat or if you're using parchment paper, you want to use something that does not stick. And you want to have flour available so that you can pull in flour and keep your surface floured so that your biscuit dough won't stick. Okay, we're gonna roll this out 2 more times, and then we're gonna cut it.
So I'm supposed to let the apples get soft, huh?
Right. Your strawberries and your apples are going to get soft, so you're going to be mashing them with your little masher over there.
So I can go ahead and start mashing?
You can start mashing. You want to start extracting that juice out of both. That's what's going to create the flavor in your strawberry apple jam. After I roll these out, I'm going to cut them. And then I'm going to put them in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes to let this dough get nice and cold. And while that's happening, I'm going to move over to my mixer and mix up some brown sugar, cream cheese, butter spread. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Okay,
I don't know about all that yummy, yummy.
I said I was done, but I'm going to do one more.
That's bread.
Yes, yummy, yummy, yummy. You're going to say, oh.
Yeah, right.
MB is not favorable of trying new things. If she's never had it, if it hasn't been on her menu all of her life, 9 times out of 10, she's not going to try it. So sometimes I have to
I just like the old-fashioned stuff.
That she should try new things. If you think AB should try new things, let us know. I'm using a ruler because I want to get these shaped into as much of a square shape as I can. Is it necessary? No, I'm just being a little anal retentive, that's all.
So what if all the apples doesn't smash?
You just have, you know how when you eat jelly sometimes you have chunks of strawberries?
Yeah.
Or chunks of grape or something like that? You'll just have some chunks in there. So it's really up to you. I'm going to press this out just a little bit more because I want to try to get at least 4. Okay, I just took our dough out of the freezer. I wanted to make sure that it's good and cold before we put it in the oven. So we're going to cut them here. If you have a bench cutter, definitely use it. So I want you to see those layers. Can you see? Can you see those layers in there? That's what we were trying to achieve. You're going to see it even more as it bakes. Awesome. I wanted to get 4. See those layers?
Oh, okay.
Look at that.
So y'all just took some things and roll them up and throw them put them in there. All that fancy stuff, I'm not used to that.
It's not fancy stuff.
What you call it then?
Look at that.
That's nice, you know.
Yummy, yummy, yummy. Look at that. Look at those layers in there.
Yeah.
That just excites my soul.
Oh my, now don't get so carried away.
Now what we're going to do is we're going to baste the top of them with some milk. This is going to make them nice, pretty, and golden. And you might say, well, why wouldn't you use butter?
That's why I just finished saying.
Thinking ahead. So we're going to let these cook, and just as they start to brown, I'm going to take them out and I'm going to baste them with some butter.
Oh, okay. I never would have thought of that.
To baste it with milk?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to see the difference. They're going to be so golden, and they're going to have a crunch. The middle is going to be nice and fluffy and airy, and that outside is going to be nice, pretty, and golden. Let's get them in the oven. We're going to bake them at 425 for about 15 minutes. Well, we're going to bake them at 425. Once they start to turn brown, we're going to take them out, baste them with some butter, put them back in for another 5 minutes. So total, probably about 15 minutes. Hey, that looks good.
It does.
Want to give it a taste?
No. Wait till you put that flour water in there.
Okay, so it's thickening, but we want it to be a little thicker. So I'm going to put a slurry.
Flour water. That's what
What do you call it?
Flour water.
It's a thickening agent. It's a slurry. I'm just going to put a little bit in there. Okay. It looks delicious.
Yeah, it looks good. I don't know how it tastes.
The apples have completely disintegrated into the
Might I put just a little bit more?
A little bit more? Yeah, because we want this to be able to stick to the biscuits. Okay, so we'll just keep stirring that for a little bit. While AB is thickening her strawberry apple jam, I'm going to move over here and get our brown sugar cream cheese butter spread ready. By that time, our biscuits should be close to ready for us to baste with some butter. Yeah?
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Okay, so we're going to start with 8 ounces of softened cream cheese. And we're going to add a half of a cup of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of softened butter, and a teaspoon of vanilla. And we're going to get this all mixed together. You want to do this on a medium-high speed because you want to whip it. It's going to be a whipped cream cheese. I'm going to stop it and scrape down the sides so that all of it gets incorporated. I'm going to grab a spoon and give it a taste. Okay, let's give it a taste. Yummy. But you know, I think I want to add a little bit of honey. And here's where the creativity comes in. When you taste something and you feel like it needs a little something else to give it a kick, don't be afraid to deviate from the recipe. And this is how you make it your own. So I'm going to add a little bit of honey. Okay, I added about a tablespoon of honey, and I also added about 1/4 cup of brown sugar, a little bit more brown sugar. I wanted it a little sweeter. Okay. And this is what it looks like.
And that is what?
The brown sugar, cream cheese, butter spread.
And you're going to put that on the
biscuit.
biscuit?
It's so good on the biscuit when it melts into that hot biscuit.
We have to see. We'll see. We will see.
Okay, let's go back over here and see how A&B is doing with our strawberry jam. We're almost there. We're almost done with this recipe. That looks so
Put that on some toast. That'd be real good.
So good. Let's give it a taste.
You might know what you're doing.
Say it ain't so. Say it again. Say it again.
I say you might know what you're doing. You have that apple and strawberry.
Would you have thought to add apple?
No. I would just went to the store and got me some strawberry jam.
That's delicious. That's going to be really good on those hot buttered biscuits. Really good. And it's not too sweet.
No, it's not that sweet.
And you actually get some chunks of apple and strawberry. Yeah, I thought the apples had kind of disintegrated into the sauce. But all of them didn't. And it's nice to have some texture. It provides a little bit of texture, a little crunch.
It'll do all right.
That's good. So now we just wait for our biscuits. Butter those babies up.
And I'll be ready to taste it.
We're ready. So
we'll see what it's like.
We'll see what it's like. Our hot buttered biscuits are out of the oven. Are you ready to give them a taste?
Right. I'm ready.
All right. Listen, everybody. Thank you for joining us at Sandy's house today. This is how we do it at Sandy's house. I hope that you are spending time with people who bring you joy and doing activities that bring you joy. We will see you next time. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And we just enjoy bringing you these awesome dishes. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
And of course, I want to thank A&B for being with me in the kitchen. Bye. Look at those layers. You see those layers? Awesome. Cut some of this spread.
You can put the jelly on top. See, yeah, this one.
Amen.
Girl, you put your foot in it. And not put my toes in it.
How you put your toes in it?
That's good.